Welcome, everyone, to Ag Tech with Andrew. I'm your host, Andrew Bodden, and today I'm joined with two great gentlemen, Craig Dick, Vice President of Marketing and Sales at Phospholutions, and Andy DeVries at DeVries Farms. So, Andy, we'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about your farming operation.
Yeah, I farm with my brother, Dan DeVries, in central Iowa, just outside Des Moines, small town of Person, a great little small operation.
Okay, so Craig, tell us a little bit about what your role is.
Yeah, as VP of Sales and Marketing, I lead our North American sales team. I was responsible for launching RhizoSorb 2023, growing our retail and distribution networks.
So tell us a little bit about what RhizoSorb is. It replaces some kind of traditional MAP and DAP fertilizer. So tell us about.
Yeah, RhizoSorb 8390 is a next generation dry phosphate fertilizer meant to be replace MAP and DAP. It's twice as efficient at feeding the plant. And the technology was developed in the 90s at Penn State. Our CEO, Hunter Swisher, licensed that technology about 10 years ago and has spent the last 10 years in developing numerous patents around the technology and proving out the technology through hundreds of on-farm field trials as well as hundreds of small plot replicated trials.
So without kind of giving away the secret sauce, can you tell us a little bit about what it works, how it works, and kind of some of the benefits you're seeing from it?
Yeah, so RhizoSorb allows growers to replace their MAP and DAP, receive about a 10% per acre savings, and have the same, if not better, yields with up to 50% less P2O5 applied. Essentially what RhizoSorb is, it's a metal oxide technology that's incorporated into the production process when making granular phosphate fertilizer. We hold onto that phosphate and keep it from tying up in the soil so that we can essentially just feed the plant and not have to worry about building the soil to such a high level to actually feed the plant.
That sounds fantastic. It sounds like great technology that you guys have developed. So we'll go back to you, Andy. You're obviously you've started using RhizoSorb. So tell us about how you learned about this, and then kind of what was your process of getting into using it and acres and all that.
Yeah, I started on a trial period with RhizoSorb. We recently purchased a farm that was really depleted on P, and RhizoSorb has a good availability of P right away, and that's what we were looking for instead of waiting years to build up that P level through the soil. So we had immediate plant uptake, and so we started out with a trial period with RhizoSorb, and we've slowly worked through the years, increasing our acres. And what we like to do is verify stuff on our farms that work with all soil types, our tillage programs, and stuff like that. So we're verifying it through soil sampling, as well as our yield checks and, checking in fields against MAP fertilizer.
Okay, so you started using it. What kind of results did you get that made you say, hey, I'm seeing something good here? I think I want to keep it going.
Yeah, so the first year we tried it, dab into a drought. I remember a lot of sleep because when you're trying something new, you're like, just stick to what I've known and what works. And at the end of the year, guys, it outperformed our MAP fertilizer, which really stands the test of time, in a stressful environment. And just really surprised about that because of, like you said, a bad environment. What else can you ask? The other aspect, you're applying, you're helping in, controlling your run aspects as well.
Okay, so you've obviously seen some good results. Craig, when we look at how much development has been going on, how many acres, tell us about how many acres are of this it's been applied to, and what crops you're seeing really good success on. I guess we'll start there.
Yeah, so in 2025, we exceeded 1 million acres of product applied, mainly corn and soybeans has been our focus. Although in May of 25, we received Canadian registration. And so we expanded our trial program into wheat, as well as field trials in canola, durum, canary grass, peas, lentils, more of those small grains crops that you would see in the Western provinces. Additionally, we have a team that is focused on international development where we've done trials in Brazil and then many other countries across the globe, 18 countries in total.
Wow. So you're really trying to get this product into multiple crops. And I think that's fantastic because when you see the results in the beginning, you can say, oh, well, where else can it be applied? So that's fantastic. So there are obviously, from what I've read, some environmental benefits as well on this. Craig, can you want to fill that in?
Yeah, so with RhizoSorb, we've done a complete life cycle analysis, and we can show a 50% reduction in CO2 by switching from MAP to RhizoSorb. Additionally, with RhizoSorb and our ability to hold and retain that phosphate for plant use, we see a 78% reduction in phosphate runoff and an 84% reduction in leaching. So very substantial reduction for those growers and farmland that's in impaired watersheds.
Yeah, there's got to be some really, really great benefits there when you're seeing that come through. I would imagine the governments would be pretty appreciative of that as well. So I don't know where it goes from there.
They are. In fact, we've been approved in the state of Pennsylvania as an EEF, or Enhanced Efficiency Fertilizer. So that allows growers that are in the CSP or EQIP program to add RhizoSorb to their contract. And last year, growers enrolled in that program that used RhizoSorb could get $75 an acre in government rebates.
Wow, that's fantastic. So again, sorry, go back to you again, Craig. Obviously, you're going into your fourth year with this. You already got 1 million acres planted or applied. How are people finding out about you, and how can growers get some RhizoSorb into their operation?
Well, certainly they can go to our website, Phospholutions.com, and there they can download our performance report and see trial history. They can also utilize the grower savings calculator to see how much money they can save. But in the last few months, specifically, we were at Commodity Classic last week, and it was amazing the number of growers that came up and said, hey, my neighbor's been using this and I need to look at it. And so it's really, transitioned to word of mouth at this point. And of course, with help from great growers like Andy, the word's really getting out.
What's your, Greg, any last words you'd like to say before we say goodbye?
Just that, when we look at the cost of phosphates, we agree they're too high, which is one of the reasons we've developed this technology. But unfortunately, with current geopolitical issues and balance of phosphate and producers globally, unfortunately for the American farmer, it means that we're going to see these elevated prices for, a number of years. And so I know there's been a lot of growers that have been sitting on the sidelines waiting to do something on phosphate in hopes that the price is going to come down. And it just doesn't look like that when you see what's going on globally. So RhizoSorb gives those growers the opportunity to make sure that they are feeding their crops the right nutrients to maintain or improve their yields, and hopefully protect the costs on a per acre basis, lower that cost per acre so they can afford it.
Perfect. Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate your time today, and I look forward to ongoing development with RhizoSorb and seeing how things go with you in harvest time with you, Andy. Thanks again for joining me. I'm Andrew Bodden, and I look forward to seeing you again. Goodbye.